episode of The Come Up, the show where we shine the spotlight on artists that you need to be adding to your playlist. I am Vandy, and on today's episode, we have the awesome, the wonderful Destinee Rai. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm good. You know, we out here trying to talk to you guys and like I said, shine the spotlight on you guys as best as I can.
Absolutely. This is exciting. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, one of my first questions that I always ask people when I meet them, how did you get into music?
Oh, that's a loaded question. How did I get into music? So, as a little girl, growing up in church, singing, sitting in the pews, and seeing individuals from my child mindset, I was like, who are these people? Why are they singing? Why are they singing in these different groups? And I was like, oh, one day I want to do that. And then, long story short, I came home from school one day, and I went to the restroom, and I was singing the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I was like, when I sung, it felt good, but then also in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'm scared to sing. Like, I know I can sing, I know I have this talent, this gift, but when I sung, I was like, oh, I'm nervous to do it. I'm nervous to express myself in this way because one, the way that I was taught, children are supposed to be quiet. You follow the rules, you listen to your mom and dad, and that's it. You know, exactly. So I was like, okay, I know that I sing loud as well, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sing in the bathroom to myself. So the bathroom was my first stage. I like to think to myself. And my sister caught me singing one day and was like, Lena, you know how to sing. I was like, no, I don't. She's like, yes, you do. She's like, yes, you do. I was like, no, I don't. And then she called me out, so I started singing in the church, and then I was like, this feels good, you know. Then as I got older, I was like, okay, I have a gift. I feel good when I sing. I want to make other people feel good when I sing. I want other people to feel good when they see me on stage. So that's kind of like a long story short journey in how I got into the music and how I found the love of singing.
No, I feel like that's what's kind of missing in music today sometimes is, you know, artists that coming from the church.
Yes.
And I feel like that's like one of those spaces where I feel like, especially like people who can like really sing, I feel like that's where like you really get that training, that ability to kind of just perform. Well, obviously you're in the back for performing.
Yes.
Which I respect.
To myself, it's okay.
Nah, sometimes I feel like you're your first audience.
Absolutely.
So no, I definitely respect that. So as you kind of grew in your musical journey, like what were some of your inspirations or your influence or, you know, people that you kind of, you know, like followed to kind of tailor your
as a little girl, when I would listen to Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, I knew those individuals had big voices, and I also knew that I had a big voice. So those two individuals I would listen to, and also like Mary J. Blige. I would say, you know, I would kind of like mimic myself to match them, just because I didn't know what I was doing, you know. As I got older, you know, my high school years, college years, I would listen to a lot of Alicia Keys. I'm very much so an R&B artist at heart. I love R&B, that's to my core. So listen to artists like, you know, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. Those were some of the artists in a nutshell that I kind of looked up to. I can go on and on with a list of other artists that I can think of, but right now off the top of my head, those are some influences.
So what was how do I want to phrase this question? So like when you, what was like your first performance? Like the first time you performed in front of people, is that did you kind of try to, not necessarily mimic them, but, you know, mirror them a little bit as you kind of grew into yourself as a performer?
So as a performer, I would educate myself and study artists that I looked up to, like via, you know, YouTube. And then as I found my own confidence, I said, okay, when I get on stage, I'm going to, be myself. I'm going to be Destinee Rai to the fullest, but I'm going to try my best to exude the energy that different artists that I, you know, listen to and like study on stage. I'm going to tell you, my first performance was trash, right? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't that confident. And I think it was actually in Louisville at a place called Coconut Beach. And to me, looking back on my performances, I was like, well, that was trash. I can do better. So just making sure I get on stage, I'm exuding energy, I'm exuding confidence, is what I strive to do.
I dig that. What was that point where you felt like I know I'm good at this? Where you felt that confidence, you felt all of that?
I feel like I've had a lot of moments where I felt that confidence and I had that understanding that I'm good at this and this is what I want to do. But one particular moment that I can think about was I was on stage, and every artist has had this experience where you're doing your thing, you're giving your 110%, you're confident, you're singing well, I'm hitting every vocal, I'm hitting these high notes, but the audience was looking at me like this. Crickets, right? Just crickets. And I was like, what do I do? So I pointed out to a particular young girl in the audience who reminded me of myself. Young, a brown-skinned girl, kind of a little, quirky a little bit. And I looked at her amongst everyone who was looking at me, and I just spoke to her. I just spoke to that little girl that was in the audience, and I was kind of speaking to myself in that way. And after I spoke to her and kind of just instilled confidence in her, because we had a conversation prior to me getting on stage, the audience heard what I was saying. So after I got done speaking directly to her, and then I heard the audience say, oh, and they gave me the applause, I knew that I had a gift. Not just singing, not just performing, but also just telling my testimony and telling my story to inspire other people who look like me. That was one of the moments where I was like, oh, I'm good at this. I have this gift, and I want to continue to spread that. I know it's probably a loaded answer, but...
No, that's beautiful. I feel like it's kind of one of those moments where, the way that I kind of interpret it, it's just like hey, I'm able to, I can touch people. With
it's not just about me.
Yeah, it's
right.
great. I feel like a lot of times, we forget that sometimes the things that we're called to do are always going to be bigger than us.
Absolutely.
So.
And it takes community to make that happen. So that was one of the moments.
No, that's a beautiful moment. That's definitely a beautiful moment. So when it comes to the creative process, whether it be making like an album or making a song, how do you get there? Where do you draw your inspiration for different projects from?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That's loaded as well. I think just being an artist and just putting the pen to the paper is a process that is intimate. It's a process where your vulnerability shines. So where I start from is just my life experiences. I like to say that I tell my own secrets in my music. I tell my own stories. But sometimes also if I have people who I know and that trust me, and they give me the 100% yes to tell their own story, then I use that in a creative way to create a song. So starting from life experiences, if I'm feeling sad, of course I kind of put myself in a space where I'm vulnerable and being okay with vulnerability, because sometimes that's scary. And I would just put different notes in my phone, different voice notes, whether I get inspiration in the shower, in the car ride home from work, or if I just got into an argument, I just become emotional on purpose, if that makes sense. It's kind of strange, but I become emotional on purpose so that I can write.
Yeah.
So when I'm starting to write, I'm writing a big book. No song is a long book. A song is literally a couple of words put together. So as I just write my feelings down, I then take away words to say the same thing, but I try to simplify it in the way that I can. So yeah, just life experiences. I tell my own stories, tell my own secrets, and I try to do it in a metaphoric way. But I'm also learning that my audience needs more simple things. I love y'all so much. When you listen to my music, it's there's some secrets in there. So just go back and digest and see if it's about you, right? So yeah.
I like that though. I like the complexity of music sometimes. I think sometimes music should be complex.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's emotions. I feel like as human beings, emotions are complex.
Absolutely.
So however you choose to kind of, express it, it's going to be complex. Do you find like when you make music, is it kind of like therapy for you?
Absolutely.
Have you wrote something where you found like it healed a past
Absolutely. Music saved my life. Everyone has their testimony. My baby, and I know y'all love it too, is called Brown Paper Bag. I wrote that song at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. After, having an edible, being emotional, going through the emotions of being a Black woman, not feeling confident about how I looked. Going back into the little girl in me, knowing that I have this gift but not knowing how to express it. Going through the emotions of relationships treating me like a brown paper bag. Oh, that's just plain. For me, my saying is basic yet extraordinary. I don't have to have my nails done. I don't have to have makeup on. I don't have to have my hair done to be extraordinary, because I know I am. So, in that song, once you look inside of the brown paper bag, you might find a 40, you might find some jewelry, you might find money. Just because the outside may look basic as hell, don't judge that outside look. Get to know me, get to know how I think, get to know the way that I think, and fall in love with that. Speaking from a relationship standpoint.
Yeah.
So brown paper bag is my baby. I love it so much.
A 40 is crazy.
I'm just saying, because right,
I feel like somebody pull a 40 out of a brown paper bag, I'm just like, man, they gonna do it.
But on the outside, they didn't know a 40 was in there, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I got you. That is funny.
Yeah, so that song was very vulnerable for me, so.
I respect it. What is your favorite part? Actually, no. I got a better question for you. If you could go back to your younger self when you first started making music, based off of where you're now, what would you tell your younger self?
Live life. I would tell my younger self, you're gonna go through some hard shit. You're gonna not know how to process things mentally. You're going to crash out on some things, but learn to live life and learn to understand what you're going through.
Right.
I think a lot of people live through life and they have their experiences, but they don't know why it's happening to them. Why me? Why is this happening? It's happening for a reason. It's your responsibility to understand your circumstance. It's your responsibility to ask questions. It's your responsibility to do some self-work. Why am I going through this? How can this experience make me a better person, make me a better wife, make me a better girlfriend, a better daughter? When I was starting to write music at the age of 14, I didn't live life. I didn't know what life was.
Yeah.
Talking about my grades. You know what I'm saying? Talking about my pet, Shabu Shabab. I had a pet turtle. Like what?
You wrote a song about your grades?
Something like that. If I go to an old songbook, I'm pretty sure something is in there that if I read, like, where did you go through this? You were 14 years old. You know nothing about life.
You know
what I'm saying? Exactly, right? Honor roll. You hear me? So I would just tell my younger self to live life and to be okay with going through stuff. And you ain't got it all figured out at 14.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That is okay.
I love that question.
I'm glad. That's one of my favorite questions. Keep it in
Yeah.
just in case.
There you go.
But this is one of my favorite segments. You know what I'm saying? I like to put my guests on a little hot seat. It's hot. So my first question.
What's up?
What song would you consider the soundtrack to your life?
A song of mine or just in general?
In general.
Soundtrack to my life. I don't know. That is loaded. So there's a song by the artist named Kamau, and it's called Clover. And I think because I am like a romantic person, I love romance, I love to cry, I love to make myself cry on purpose to write good music, I think that song embodies a symbolic meaning towards going through love and like heartbreak and ups and downs. At the end of the day, there's a clover. There's a 4-leaf clover. Like I said before, you're gonna go through something, but why? Oh, there's a 4-leaf clover. Make a wish, kiss it, and be done with it. So Kamau, Clover, I think that'll be the soundtrack of my life.
I'm gonna have to look that one I'm gonna look that one up after.
He's a real, like, unique artist.
I definitely looked that up. Let's see. What else I got? If you could perform anywhere, where would be your dream performance place? Dream stage.
Sure, dream stage. I mean, like I don't want to say like the obvious things, obviously like Bonnaroo, BET Awards, MTV Awards, all things that little Destinee Rai dreamt up. Why not? Why not go for it?
No.
Coachella, like all those stages.
That would be dope. I think Louisville needs to.
Luchella, or something like that.
Luchella. We need to write that one down. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stages, of course, but just to live in my dream, that's always going to be a dream. I'm not going to be finished until that's completed.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So, outside of music, what is something else that you enjoy?
Outside of music, something else that I enjoy, I love to help people. I graduated from the University of Northern Kentucky with a degree in social work. So I currently work in social work.
Nice.
So I'm an artist, I'm a social worker, executive director, and I just love being able to encourage people, help people through their addiction, help people through their trauma, and help them process that. So social work to me is my baby. I love human services. I love all things social work.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, what is next for Miss Destinee Rai?
What's next for me? I'm in studio. I am working on a bunch of singles. On top of that, just my vulnerable side, nothing's cheap, everything costs, right? So I'm also a hustler, so I work my regular 9 to 5. I do my Instacart, I do my DoorDash to make the money for my studio sessions. I used to be ashamed of that. I don't know why, because it is what it is, and I'm now proud of it, right? So continuing to just be in the bag, get in my bag to support my dream and to support my career. So being on the lookout for some singles. Behind that, some visuals to support it.
Okay, so we coming up on the end. So one of the ways I like to end my show is, what do you want people to take from your music?
When you're listening to a Destinee Rai record, I want you to be okay with being vulnerable. I want you to be okay with feeling those emotions. I know specifically for the month of June, it's men's mental health awareness. I have a song on my album called, the album's called I'm Sure, but the song is called Him. And all the fellas out there, I want you to take care of yourself. Listen to Him on I'm Sure, my album. And it's just spreading light on being okay with being not okay.
Right.
So when you listen to a Destinee Rai record, just let those feelings flow, let those emotions thrive, and learn from it. And also share it, and like it, and comment on the song.
And do all of that.
Yeah, so just feel the energy, feel the love, and feel where I'm coming from as well. Because if you rock with me, you're gonna understand Destinee Rai is talking some real shit and vulnerable stuff, so.
I'm here for it. And where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find Destinee Rai music. I'm going to speak in third person on all DSPs meaning the music that you listen to on. So YouTube, Spotify, all Instagram, TikTok, Apple Music. You can Shazam it, everywhere.
Cool.
At Destinee Rai.
Cool. Make sure y'all find her, stream her, run her numbers up.
Yes, please.
And again, I thank you so much for coming and kicking with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that's the end of the show, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok at official_the Come Up. That is another great episode here at the Come Up, where we shine the spotlight on artists that you need to add to your playlist. I am Bandy, and I am out.
I try to be myself, but that wasn't good enough. I try to be like she was, try to conform so you can love me, but I just felt myself. Try to change my reality. Men that I chose always treated me like a brown paper bag. On the outside she's basic, but open her up and see she's full of mysteries. Wait and see, she's been crumbled up, thrown away, disrespected like a brown paper bag. I am blind by my transparency, 'cause I only know one thing. Needed confirmation by others' perceptions. Don't be with him 'cause he will hurt your brain. I just wanted lust instead of love, 'cause I'm the only one that'll never change. Deep down inside I'm still corrupt, 'cause I love being treated the same, just like a brown paper bag. On the outside she's basic, but open her up and see she's full of mysteries. Wait and see, she's been crumbled up, thrown away, disrespected like a brown paper bag. On the outside she's basic, but open her up and see she's full of mysteries. Wait and see, she's been crumbled up, thrown away, disrespected like a brown paper bag. On the outside she's basic, but open her up and see she's full of mystery.